Hey YouTube, it's Erin, and I am the Handbag Housewife, and I'm back again with another video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the bags that I brought on vacation with me to Hawaii. We recently went on a trip to Hawaii. We went for the purpose of the Maui Invitational, which actually got moved to Honolulu because of the fires in Lahaina. And so we went to Oahu, I think I'm saying that right, instead of going to Maui. And for this channel, that was actually an amazing switch to make because we stayed at a hotel that was within walking distance of more luxury stores than I've ever been in close proximity to. So I got to visit Louis Vuitton, Dior, Hermes, Chanel, Valentino, Fendi, and I may be missing one or two because that's a lot. I still have a shopping vlog to release for Hermes, Chanel, and that may be it. I'm not positive. I need to go back and look at the photos I took because with both Hermes and Chanel, it was photos only, but I'm going to do a video talking about my thoughts on the bags I tried on at Chanel and then also the bags that I saw at Hermes because they wouldn't let me try on anything. Anyhow, someone requested that I do a video talking about the bags that I took on the trip to use while I was there. And I actually took 4 designer bags, and then I also have a Target bag and a little pouch that I got free with a makeup set. And I'm just going to be real and talk to you about how I used each one of the bags I brought. One of them I did not use at all, so it was a complete waste to haul it all the way to Hawaii and back. And I'm also going to put in some footage from our vacation because we captured some really cool video and film. So I think today will be fun. Let's get to it. So first of all, I brought my Longchamp Les Pliages large shoulder bag. This bag is from the Neo line, and it is an extremely functional bag for the airport. I love this bag when I travel. I have it in black with silver hardware and also in taupe with silver hardware. It still has a few things in it. I end up putting in my designer bags into this bag to travel through the airport with. Some of them I was able to also put into my rolling carry-on, but this is essentially the purse that I take on the plane. And a lot of times, like in Boston, I use this bag to walk around the city in case we purchased anything or needed an umbrella, just so that I could pull what we needed out and have it handy in a bag that didn't weigh very much. So for the airport, inside of that bag, I kept my affectionately named baloney bag, and I still haven't switched out of this bag since I got back. So I've been wearing this for, I guess, 8 days after my vacation. I love the balloon bag from Louis Vuitton. It is so functional. I have a ton of stuff in it. It's packed, I guess you could say, to the brim, but I still have more room, so it's not really to the brim. But I used it with this strap. A lot of times I'll use it with a guitar strap, but I used it with this strap when I was in Hawaii. I used it a couple of times while we were there. I carried it to the luau that we went on for Thanksgiving night, and it was the perfect bag for that. I'll pop a picture of my husband and I'm gonna put a heart over his face because he wants his privacy, but I wore it with like a charcoal gray dress, and it just really accented that dress quite well. The luau we went to was called the Diamond Head Luau, and it was at the Waikiki Aquarium, and it was really neat. They put on a performance for us, and when we checked in, they gave us a bunch of tickets, and each ticket was for a different food stand within the luau. And so you got to go and get 8 different dishes from different places within the property and try a whole assortment of food. And it was plenty of food, and all of the separate stations were creme de la creme picks from local restaurants that were known for their amazing Hawaiian food. While that luau was probably a little bit on the pricey side compared to other luau's, the Diamond Head Luau was really cool to go to, and we enjoyed it thoroughly. The performance was also amazing. I really liked the part with the fire. Fire part was very impressive, let's just say. I don't know how those guys do it. So when we went to the pool and we went to the beach, I carried this sort of a mesh bag, and this is from Target. I don't know when I got it, but it works really well as a beach bag. I just throw everything we need into it, like sunglass cases, sunscreen. I brought some really thin towels and used those to mark our seats at the pool rather than the hotel towels alone, just so people would know we were actually there. And those towels are only like, I don't know, $10 to $15. I can link what I'm talking about below, but they fold really small. So I would pop those in here so we could mark our seats whenever we were in the water or whatnot. And then I was going to use my new Epi Louis Vuitton bag and pop it in that black bag so that I could grab this if I needed to go get anything. But when we were at the beach or at the pool, we were within the hotel and we had these bracelets on and we were able to charge things to our room, and I really didn't need a handbag. And I was sort of worried about getting sunscreen on the Epi leather and what that would do to my new bag. So I didn't end up carrying this to the beach or the pool. I used this little pouch, and I think this is, let's see, it says Jewel on it, but I'm pretty darn sure it came with a makeup set. And it's just a simple little pouch. Right now I have a razor in there, but it has some credit card slots on one side, but I really didn't even use those. I just put a little bit of headache medicine in there and a couple little odds and ends and threw that into my beach bag rather than putting my new designer Epi leather Louis Vuitton bag in there. However, I did carry my new Epi leather pochette accessoire one day when we went up to the North Shore. And I'll put a couple pictures of the North Shore. It's kind of overcast up there, but the North Shore is known for surfing because the waves up there are quite large. And the day we were there, they weren't huge. It was kind of overcast and it was beautiful. We didn't have a whole lot of time. So when we ended up leaving there, while I would have liked to have visited the botanical gardens nearby, they were closing soon. So we ended up going to the Dole Pineapple Plantation. We went to the Dole Pineapple Plantation primarily just to get Dole Whip, but they had a really cool store which we went in, and we ended up going through the store out back, and there was beautiful landscaping and you could see the pineapple plants. They had a train that I guess took you on a tour. We didn't do that. We just sort of walked around the property on the back side of the store and ate the pineapple whip that they are known for. This was the bag for the Pineapple Plantation, sort of, and North Shore. A big chunk of our time while we were in Hawaii was spent going to either events or games associated with the Maui Invitational. We went to support the University of Kansas, and we went with their traveling program. So there was a pep rally, a breakfast, and also a VIP type dinner that we went to support the team, and it was very cool. We felt pretty special that we were part of a select few that got to be kind of up and close to some of the higher ups at the University of Kansas. And we also stayed in the same hotel as the team, so we got to see them from time to time and take pictures. Well, our kids took pictures with some of the players, and it made our kids look tiny in comparison because some of those guys were so tall. The field house that the games were in for the University of Kansas, well, and the whole invitational, it was quite cold. And so I found myself eyeing some of their merch while we were there, and I did pick up this sweatshirt, which I absolutely love this color for beachy stuff. And so even though you think of Hawaii as being a hot place because it's tropical, it's actually quite cool in the evenings. And I found myself putting this on when we were in the hotel room or even later in the night if we did walk around a bit. This was something handy to have, but it was awesome to have when we were at the field house because it was quite cold in there. So I thought I would show this to you and also let you know the brand is US Apparel. And I hadn't heard of that before, but this is literally like my favorite sweatshirt now. It is so soft. It doesn't pill up on the inside. I've worn it for days. I liked it so much, I wore it 3 days in a row. And you can see it in some of the footage tied around my waist that I've done from the luxury stores. They're probably like, this girl's not dressed up at all. I went straight from the University of Kansas game straight to shop. So I had this tied around my waist. I just love it, again, with those white pants that are real beachy. It's just a fun vibe. I wore it a lot when we were at the resort in the evenings, and I think it was a good buy. It was like $80, which is ridiculous, but I think it was worth it. But the bag I wore to everything associated with the University of Kansas was this Prada bag. This bag I picked up pre-loved a while back from Rebag. No longer buying from Rebag anymore, but one thing I noticed is that the way that the strap attaches is basically you pull this over this button and then you secure it through the D-rings on the side of the bag. Right now I have a candy box chain on this bag from Next Fashion that's quite beautiful. I have a new code for Next Fashion, which I'll link down below. I really like his chains because you can get whatever length you want. You can pick what kind of hardware you want. And I have an upcoming video I'm going to do featuring something new that he and I have been working on together. I can't wait to show you. But anyway, right now I popped this chain on because the strap that this bag came with is being repaired, let's just say. I pulled this open because I was talking about the bag to a friend of ours and said, see how it opens and closes? I ended up putting this little clip on there so that I could just fasten it to the bag without opening and closing it. I worried that this would crack or get damaged being pulled open and closed multiple times. And guess what? That's what happened. So on the inside here, there was a crack in the Saffiano leather, and I ended up putting a little bit of E6000 glue on it. There were also some cracks in the glazing. So I reglazed the interior of this hole and it's not dry yet. So that is why I have it open right now, and I've got the candy box chain on this Prada. But that said, I actually really love the way this looks on this bag. It really dresses it up. I also love the color of this bag with all of my University of Kansas gear, and it held absolutely everything. It was within the 8x5 guidelines for the field house that the games were played in. So I have to say I'm a bit disappointed that my Saffiano leather cracked on this, but that just goes to show you that if you get a strap that clips on like this, it may be better to not take it on and off and just to maybe tuck it into the bag in the on position, because whenever you're pulling it over that knob, you're going to put wear and tear on that little hole. And I was able to fix it, and luckily I didn't pay $2,000 for this bag. I think it was like $700. So I'm not too frustrated, but I have to say, I think that for a $700 bag, it shouldn't be cracking because you pull it open and close as it was intended to be done. So one day we decided to go and hike up to the top of the Diamond Head crater. We were in Waikiki and we could see the edge of the Diamond Head crater from our beach and our hotel, and it was the top point where we could see. So we drove over there and hiked to the top, and the bag I brought to do that was my Longchamp Les Pliages backpack, and this is the perfect bag for taking on a little hiking trip like that. I'll try to pop a little bit of footage and photos in as I talk, but I thought this bag was great. I put my necessities in it and a drink or two, and it worked great. I think I've said great a whole lot. When you hike up to the top of Diamond Head Crater, you get to see some of the pillboxes, which were basically for the military to use as a defense point. They were built originally, I think, in 1916 ish, 1918, something like that. And they were also used in World War II as well. The Diamond Head crater was created by, I think, a single explosive eruption. And the result is an extremely large crater with a very dry area in the middle that water can't get to. And it was really neat to see from the vantage point at the top all of the views of the ocean meeting up with the land. It was a hard hike, let's just say, especially for a girl who hasn't been working out for a while, but I made it to the top and I was a little sore the next day, but it was totally worth it. When we were at Diamond Head, I also picked up another souvenir. I just kept buying souvenirs. I couldn't help myself. But I got this cool t-shirt. I have a pair of white pants that have slits up the sides, and this just looks so cute with those pants. So it was like, I don't know, 24 bucks. And I thought, heck, why not? And I really like the graphics that they put on it. I love this hibiscus flower. I have a necklace from Hawaii from the last time I went that has that on it. It was just a fun little thing to get to remember the hike. One of the other things that I took my little Prada bag to was to Pearl Harbor. And while this bag fit their 8x5, it had to be like this thin to get in. So I had to check it into a locker before I went inside. But we went inside and we'd been there before, but our kids didn't really remember it. So we took the boat out to the USS Arizona, and there just happened to be the most gorgeous rainbow out there the day we were there. I just kept taking picture after picture because it was so fabulous. We went also through the museum and then spent some time in the gift store. And the kids also went to the other ship where you could look at the artillery and actually walk through the ship. I did get this Christmas ornament and I taped it closed so it wouldn't get damaged. Let me see if I can get this open. So I've got a Christmas tree in my living room that has a lot of metallic in it, and I thought this was quite beautiful and would look nice on my tree. I like to buy sort of dainty, pretty ornaments for that tree, and if I do put anything that's special, I try to stay within that color scheme. And so this is the souvenir I picked up at Pearl Harbor, and I think it is very special. One of the things that I have done recently is collect Louis Vuitton luggage tags. And if you've watched some of those videos, you know I've had kind of a failed DIY where I tried to put a heart stamp on one of those tags underneath my initials. I found a tag that had a little defect and it had my initials on it, so I bought it because I wanted the strap, because I had ruined the strap on another tag. When I got it, it was so good in terms of the initials, I thought, I'm going to just try to save the tag and put a heart on it instead. Well, that was a big fail, but I had the idea of putting a crystal on it instead. One of you lovely subscribers suggested I put a rivet on it, and I had already done this crystal thing. So let me show you how it looks. I think it looks really cool. The crystal's the same color as one of my son's birthstones, and it's just from the craft store, but I feel like that gives it a little bit of bling. And I did the yellow because it kind of matches the Louis Vuitton monogram, the lighter color, and just doesn't stand out a whole lot. I thought about doing pink because that's my birthstone, but I ended up doing the yellow, and I'm quite happy with it. I don't need to throw this away now, which is awesome. Sadly, I forgot to bring all the luggage tags that I had collected to take to get stamped to Hawaii. I had 4 I was going to bring. I was thinking about doing different stamping on them if they had time, but I was going to at minimum get 1 done, and I was going to get 1 done for a friend too. And I packed them all up in this little pouch. I took them off the strap, wrapped them up individually, set them on my shelf, and then left them behind. So that was, let's just say, a bummer. Last thing I have to talk about, another tour that we took while we were in Hawaii. It was actually on the second full day that we were there. We were supposed to go on this tour the first full day we were there, but there was a lot of wind and the water got really churned up. So we went on the second day, and I ended up taking the beach bag that I've already shown you. So that was the bag with the little zip pouch. And it was a Turtle Canyon snorkeling trip. And we got on a boat with about 20 other people, plus a couple of girls that ran the show. And we got brought out to an area with a reef that was kind of down deep, and so the water was still a bit murky. We really couldn't see the reef that well, but there were lots of pretty fish, and then the stars of the show were the turtles. And I'm going to put some video footage of the turtles in as I'm talking here, but it was absolutely amazing. They have a rule that you can't touch the turtles, and you also can't be within 10 feet of the turtles. Before we got in the water, one of the guys that was on our tour gave me this pouch to put my cell phone in. And so I went ahead and took my cell phone in the water. We had also bought an underwater camera and took some images with that are okay. They're not fabulous. But I discovered as I got in the water and was using this pouch that I really couldn't take pictures with it because somehow the pouch interfered with me touching the screen. And so I put it in video mode. I could turn it on when it was above the water, but I couldn't turn it on or off when it was below the water. I don't know what was happening, but I took the footage of the turtles they came up right next to me. So I was within less than 10 feet of them, but I was there and they came up next to me. So I was supposed to back away, and I did very slowly, but I was taking footage of them as I was doing that. And I really didn't want to scare them off because everybody had been waiting for these turtles to surface. They only surface about every 5 hours during the day. And at night, I guess they can go even longer than that because they can slow their heartbeat down to 1 beat per minute. And so I didn't want to scare the turtles away, so I just stayed in an upright position and let them do their thing and just slowly paddled with my feet in the opposite direction. It was a really neat experience. We had 3 turtles surface, and 2 of them surfaced within probably 3 feet of me. I was like a turtle magnet, you could say. When we got back to our hotel a day or 2 later, I saw this ornament. It's hand painted and it has turtles on it, and it just really reminded me of that turtle tour. So I went ahead and picked this up. I think it was around $30, but I thought it was very, very cool. And I'm gonna go hang it on my Christmas tree after this video now that I've unboxed it and revealed it to you. So I think that'll do it for this video. I do have one more Hawaii unboxing to show you, and of course the Hermes and Chanel footage. So that will be coming up, but for now I'm gonna sign out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Do it and ring the notification bell so that you are notified of future exciting content such as this. Also, go find me on Instagram. The name there's the same. It's the @ then the Handbag Housewife, all lowercase. You can DM me there, or you can email me at thehandbaghousewife@gmail.com. If I don't hear from you, I will see you again real soon. Take care and have a fabulous day. Bye.